Hello everyone, welcome back to ESL Drill. In today's video, let's learn how to form WH questions. We call them information questions as well. Let's have a look at how many types of words are there which can be used in making WH questions. The first one is who. This word who is used to question about the subject or doer. Now the doer or subject can be a single person or more than one person. And we use whom to question about the object or receiver. This can be either a single person or more than one person. We use what to question about subject or object. Now this subject or object can be a thing, an idea, an action. We use when to question the time of action. Very easy. We use where to question about place. And we use why to question about reason and purpose. Why something happens or why somebody does something. That's reason or purpose. And we use whose to ask a question about possession. And we use which to ask for specific information. Sometimes we use which plus unknown to ask for specific information. And we also use how to ask questions about manner, how something happens, way, and method. A method of action, a way of action, or a manner of action. Okay, now that we have understood what words can be used to make WH questions, let's look at each of them in detail. Now the first one is who. This one is used to question about the subject or doer we have already discussed, and let's understand this in a better way with example sentences. Look at this one here. James left home at 8 this morning. Now we have this word here, the focus word is James. Now in order to get James as the answer, you can use who without changing the sentence. We can say who left home at 8 this morning. Now we have just replaced this word James with who, and we have added a question mark at the end because this is a question. Who is the subject here, and left is the main verb. One thing that you must notice here is the main verb has not changed at all. When we go further, we try to understand that sometimes there is a helping verb and there is main verb, and main verb actually changes. We'll know them later. Let's look at who again with a different example sentence. The potter tied the donkey to a tree. Now here the focus subject is the potter. Now we have to get the potter as the answer by questioning with who. Let's try this. Who tied the donkey to a tree? Again, we used who in place of the potter, the subject, and we haven't changed the main verb. That's it, and we put a question mark at the end. Let's look at another one. Again, who, a different sentence. Robert found Ray in a disturbed mood. Again, the subject is Robert, that's underlined, and we need to use who question in order to get that word as the answer. Who found Ray in a disturbed mood? This is pretty clear. You just used who in place of Robert, and you put a question mark. Okay, now let's move on and look at another word. This is whom. This is used to question about the object. It can be a person or more than one person. It can be people. Here is an example sentence. James met them this morning. Now look at this here. Here James is the subject, but it is not underlined. The underlined word, the focus word is them. This is the object This is the object. Okay, let's see how you can get the object as the answer. Whom did James meet this morning? Now this is when we use whom. Whom is the object form of who. We can use whom to question about objects. Now, whom did James meet this morning? One thing that you must notice here is this one. The rule here is met is V2, and when we split V2, we get did and verb 1. This is what we need to do when we make questions. So we have to split this verb 2 into did plus verb 1, like did plus verb 1 is meet. Look at this here, met can be split into did plus meet. Then you get did meet and you put the subject in the middle between the two words, and then you use the WH word at the beginning. Whom did James meet this morning? And in modern English and advanced English and in a formal way, people use who, like whom. Who did James meet this morning? But I want you to stick to this thing. Use whom when you talk about the object. Let's move on. Again, whom with a different sentence. Mr. Ganesh taught me. Mr. Ganesh, subject, taught, verb, me is the object. Now we have to get this object as the answer, and the question should begin with whom. Let's try this. Whom did Mr. Ganesh teach? We followed the same rule like we did before. Look at this again. Now here taught is the verb 2 form, verb 2, and if you split you get did and teach, and you use the subject in the middle. So did Mr. Ganesh teach, and you add whom. Whom did Mr. Ganesh teach? The next one with the same word whom. We like our students. We like our students. Now the question is, whom do we like? Whom is the same, and one thing that has changed here is this. Instead of verb 2, we have used verb 1 here. And what is the rule? The rule says this. If you have verb 1 and you want to make a question, you can split that into do and verb 1 to get a helping verb, so that you can use that helping verb here. And then the subject. You write do plus V1 and then you place the subject in the middle and you get do we like. Whom do we like? The answer is our students. The next one, again with whom. This time you have this sentence. She irritates her friends. Again, the focus is not the subject, so we can't use who. We have to use whom. So the object is her friends. The question is this. Whom does she irritate? Again, we have something different here. This time irritates, verb 1 plus s. And this is the rule that we need to follow here. If you have verb 1 plus s or es, it can be split into does and verb 1. Does and verb 1. Now the word here is irritates, and if you split that, you get does and irritate. Remember this, there is no s again. When we use do, did, does, we have to use only verb 1. Next one. This time we have whose. This is used to question about possession. What somebody has, what somebody owns. Example sentence. Nick's aim is to help people. Nick's aim is to help people. Now you have to use this word whose to get this one as the answer. Now you just have to use whose in place of Nick's and you get the question. Whose aim is to help people? Whose aim is to help people? Notice one thing, we have not changed anything at all here. We have just used whose in place of Nick's and you have got the question. Don't forget to put question mark at the end. Again with whose, and this time a different sentence. These are Rani's gloves. Again, the position of this word, possessive word changed. These are Rani's gloves. Now, how can you ask a question with whose? Actually, you can do that in two ways. Whose are these gloves? Whose are these gloves? Or you can say, whose gloves are these? Whose are these gloves? Whose gloves are these? I think you are comfortable with the second one. Whose gloves are these? This sounds more natural than the first one. Okay, let's move on. Now that's about whose, and now we'll discuss how to use what as the question word. This what is used to question about subject or object. Now the subject or object can be a thing, idea, action. Let's see in action with example sentences. They want money. Now here there is a subject, want is verb, money is the object. They want money, something. That's what we question with what. What? Something. That something is money. It can be a thing, it can be an idea, it can be an action. Now here is how we question. What do they want? Again, we need the help of this rule. Want can be split into do and want, and you place the subject between them. What do they want? The answer is money. What do they want? Money. Let us have a look at another example. She is cleaning the shelf. She is cleaning the shelf. The underlined part is cleaning the shelf. How can we ask a question to get this underlined part as the answer? Since the action word is also underlined, we can't use that word. So we have to use a word that can substitute this, for this word cleaning. What is she doing? So remember this rule here. When you have the action word underlined, a continuous action word underlined, you have to use doing. So she is cleaning the shelf. What is she doing? And the answer is cleaning the shelf. And let's try another one with the same sentence, with a different part underlined this time. She is cleaning the shelf. This time I haven't underlined cleaning, I have underlined only the shelf. So you can use this word cleaning. It's very easy now. The only thing that you need to do is use what at the beginning and then bring this helping verb is to the beginning. What is she cleaning? Question mark. The answer is the shelf. What is she cleaning? Easy. Now let's look at how to use when. This when is used to question about the time of action, or you talk about the action, time of action. Example sentence. They are leaving for Chennai today. They are leaving for Chennai today. The focus word is today. You need to get this word as the answer when you question with when. It's easy because there is a helping verb here. So are goes here. When are they leaving for Chennai? A question mark. Remember this. The helping verb goes before the subject. Helping verb, subject, and the rest of the verb. So when are they leaving for Chennai? We'll discuss how to form questions in a very detailed way in the later part of this video. When are they leaving for Chennai? The next one. Again, when, another example. The bomb exploded an hour ago. The bomb exploded an hour ago. So here an hour ago is the phrase that tells us about the time of action. The action exploded. So time, so we use when. What should we do here? We have to use, again, just like we discussed before, we have to split this into did and V1. Exploded is V2. If you split that, you get did and explode. You put the bomb between them. So this is what we get. When did the bomb explode? So did the subject, the bomb V1 explode. When did the bomb explode? The answer, an hour ago. And this is the rule that we have used. Exploded is V2, split that, you get did and explode. Another one. She started running when I saw her. So here the time reference clause is when I saw her. This is what tells us about the time of action. Not exact time of action, but time reference is there. When I saw her. She started running. Again, we have started here. So we split that into did and start and put the subject between them. This is what we get. When did she start running? When did she start running? I hope that is clear. This is a rule that we have applied. Started is V2. I'm sorry, I have forgotten to change this. So read this as started, did and start. Or treat this as an example. Exploded is equal to did and explode. Started is equal to did and start. Now let's look at how to use where in questions. Where is used to question about place or position of somebody or something. He is sitting in the corner. Now here this phrase in the corner tells us about place or position. Here it can be taken as position. And how can we ask a question? Since there is no now how can we ask a question? Since we have helping verb here, bring that helping verb to the beginning. Use where. Where is he sitting? Simple. Look at this here. Where is he sitting? We used where at the beginning and now we have brought is to the beginning and we used he after that. Where is he sitting? Next example, they live in Guntur. This time we don't have any helping verb, so we have to depend on this, live, and we need to get a helping verb from this. And you can apply this rule just like we discussed before, do plus live, do plus V1, and you put the subject between them. Where do they live? That's it. Look at another example sentence. Rahim bought these shoes at a local market. This at a local market tells us about the place where Rahim bought these shoes, right? Now how can we ask question? We have bought, split that, you get did and buy, put Rahim in the middle. This is what we get. Where did Rahim buy these shoes? Now let's look at how to use why. Why is used to question about reason, purpose or explanation of why something happens or what the purpose of something is, what the reason behind something is. Example, he left home when he was 18 to find a job. Now here this phrase to find a job tells us that there is purpose mentioned here. So this tells us the purpose why this man or somebody left home. He left home when he was 18 to find a job. So in order to get this phrase as the answer, we have to use why. And you have to use the same rule. Left can be split into did and leave. He comes in the middle. So why did he leave home when he was 18? The answer is to find a job. Another example sentence. She went to bed early because she was tired. Now because she was tired, this clause explains why she did that, why she went to bed early. Now sometimes you may have something like this. She went to bed early as she was tired or since she was tired. So in any case we get the same question. Why did she go to bed early? I have already explained it almost 5 times. Went can be split into did plus go. V2, did plus V1. Subject in the middle. That's it. Let's look at another example. The kids missed the bus as they were slow. we discussed earlier. As, since, because can be used. The kids missed the bus. The reason is they were slow. So, reason. How can you ask question? We have missed, simple past tense, did and miss. Why did the kids miss the bus? Easy. Let's move on and look at which. Which can be used to ask for specific information. So the keyword here is specific. When you want to ask for information in a general way, in a general sense, you use what. But here, with specific information, you use which. Which do you prefer, veg or non-veg? I have used question directly because there is no other way to explain this. Which do you prefer, veg or non-veg? See here, the speaker wants to be specific, wants to ask about something specific, veg, non-veg. There are not many options, only limited options. It's not general thing. And the usual answer can be, I prefer veg, or you can say, I prefer non-veg. And which can also be used with a noun. Let's look at that example too. Which color do you like, red or blue? Which color? So look at this noun immediately, coming immediately after which. Which color do you like, red or blue? The answer can be, I like blue or I like red. Okay, that's it for this part. In the second part, I'll help you with more example sentences and then more WH questions. And we'll also discuss how to use how long, how far, how many, how much, so many more. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.